All right. Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and I just wanted to quickly say real quick, I put up a review yesterday that I would love if you guys would check out when you have a moment. It's on the Soul Shards RPG. It's a D12 based system, real easy to pick up and play. They're in beta right now. But yeah, I would love it if you would just go watch that and leave a comment on that video. But tonight, before you go watch that, you got to stay for this. This is our BECMI game. This is session 3 already. We're cruising. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna throw it on over to Bill, our dungeon master. Sorry, I have to use the correct terminology. Getting all these things mixed up between soul weavers and rules, whatever the hell they're called, and game master. I'm getting it all mixed up. But anyways, Bill, take it away.
I am Bill from Roll Stats, and I am your dungeon master. That is correct. For B2, Keep on the Borderlands, right? It doesn't get much more exciting than this, but before we start, we should do a round of introductions. I know this is session 3, but this might be the first time people are jumping in. So Juice, let's kick it off with you since this is your channel.
So I am playing Sloppy Sherman. We're introducing our characters, right?
And yourself, yes.
And myself. So if you don't know who I am by now, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm playing the most awesome fighter of all time named Sloppy Sherman Woods. He still has a very strong 2 hit points. That's why he is still standing tonight. And he's a very dexterous. I can't. You know what I'm saying. Dexterous character. I don't know,
Dexterous.
Yes, dexterous. Thank you.
Yes.
That word, that thing. And he's just gonna ride that dexterity all the way to level 2 and 3 and to heights nobody's ever seen before. It's gonna be great.
It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. So let's kick it over to somebody with a higher int. Paula, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
Hey, my int's 14, by the way.
I was gonna say
I IRL, buddy, not in game. Okay.
Okay, you win.
So I am Paula. Tonight I am playing Astrid. What's my last name? Thaddeus. She is a good-natured old school cleric who just wants to help everybody out and, bring peace to the land. Right? She does what she can.
She does a phenomenal job. So Peter, let's kick it over to you. Why don't you tell us about your character and your channel?
Being Drake, you can watch videos on there. You can watch us play Pulp Cthulhu here on this channel on Thursday. It'll be session 1. Got a new Stars Without Number campaign starting. I'll be playing LBJ, who currently is probably Lord of the Lizards at this point because he's just killed the big lizard. And I don't know, it's gonna be great things gonna happen.
It is absolutely going to be great. The cliffhanger we ended on last session is going to be. I can't wait to see how that plays out. So, last but not least, let's kick it over to Draven Swiftbow. Unfortunately, let's all take a moment of silence for Emerald the Elf. But you can tell us about your new character who is ready to jump into the world of B2 Keep on the Borderlands.
Yeah, thanks. So my name's Dave. I have the YouTube channel Draven Swiftbow. Today I'm playing a human fighter by the name of Ethan, and his role is to basically be like a tank at this point. So Emerald was fun, but he only had 4 hit points. This character's a little bit beefier, and I'll leave the rest of his introduction for when he actually joins the adventure.
Nice. And I am Bill from Roll Stats, really more from here lately, right? So, but like, I will be your dungeon master, and so
we can offer you a full-time position, completely unpaid if you.
It's an internship.
Lovely,
yes,
lovely.
We also need blog writers if there's anyone out there. Unpaid gig.
You make it sound so enticing, Juice. Like, how can one possibly...
I mean, if I ever win the lottery, it'll become a paid gig. And I'll pay really well then. I just don't have the money to pay right now.
Well, and on that note, let's begin, shall we? So we're going to begin tonight's session in a copse of trees upon a hill crest with a vast swamp stretching out to the east in front of it and dense old tree forest to the west behind. There's a group of men, hardened, world-weary men, thin but wiry with muscles like cordwood, sitting around a campfire, drinking and telling jokes, tales of their conquests. Men, monsters, and maidens are discussed, and if half the stories were to be believed, they'd be more demigod than mere mortals. Suddenly, the largest of the group shouts, "Look at those damn fools! They're wandering right into the swamp of sorrows!" And he points off to the east, towards a group of 4 trudging through the muck and the mire and slowly making their way to the top of a mound that sits in the center of the swamp. "Cyrus," he hisses, "take Sigmund, Percival, and Ethan and check it out. Quickly now, before they get too far. And if you don't make it in time, scavenge what's left. You know the drill." And with that, the 3 of the group jump up, they grab their steel and rush off in the direction of the mound. The 4 men move as quickly as they can. They know the terrain well, but the mound is at the heart of the swamp and the going isn't easy. And as they make their way through the fens, the rest of the group watches from the copse of trees, and they see the group of 4 adventurers ascend the mound, and then they see the beastly lizard abominations emerge. They see the ensuing battle, and to their utter amazement, they see the group of 4 descend into the very mouth of the mound. "By the hammer," one exclaims as the 4 descend. "They've got stones, I'll give them that," whispers another. And all the while, the 4 men continue their approach from the west. And just as they reach the mound, the group emerges from the same hole they had descended into. But alas, they are only 3. Which brings us cut to you 3 emerging after looting poor Emerald's body, you 3 emerging from the mouth of the mound, and you see 4 men essentially rushing up the mound with their swords drawn at you.
So I believe at the end of last session, I had my bow drawn.
You did.
I was using the mound for some cover and aiming it at them.
Well, yes, you were, but there's not really much cover.
Sure.
You're sort of, you have high ground, but there's not really any cover, right?
Sure.
So, what do you do? There are 4 men rushing towards you.
So Astrid will step forward and she raises her warhammer in front of her, using it to point at these gentlemen who have just ran into us, and says, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
And so the smallest of the group actually sort of steps forward and says, "We were about to ask you the same thing, you damn fool."
"What do you mean, damn fool?"
Don't you know that this is the Swamp of Sorrows? There's monstrous lizard folk around here.
"Yes, and I hear they have been terrorizing the villagers."
Nah, they pretty much keep to themselves. They pretty much keep to themselves. I haven't seen them exit the swamp ever.
Astrid kind of looks around at the rest of her party members and sort of shrugs her shoulders. "Well, I mean, we thought they were kind of causing an issue."
And so the little small guy looks back over his shoulder and he's like, "Percival, you've been here the longest. You ever heard of these things ever leaving the swamp?" And the older guy looks to be like maybe late 50s, early 60s, but battle hardened, steps forward and he says, "No, they stick to themselves. They don't ever leave the swamp. To be honest with you, I don't think they can survive that well on dry land."
They never left the swamp. Yeah, that's why they're easy to find.
So with that, the smaller guy says, "Percival, you head on back. Ethan, you stay here with them. We're gonna go back and let Roscoe know what the story is here. You stay here with them."
Before you leave, do you know anything about beastmen or creatures that have been attacking the roads and anyone on the roads?
We know quite a bit about that. Yeah.
That's why we're out here. We thought it was these things.
So it's not these things.
I mean, clearly we didn't find anything. But...
You're looking for the caves.
The caves?
The caves.
The caves to the east?
Right, you are. The caves to the east. All of the troubles for the past 3 years, 5 years have come from that area. So let me go back. Let Roscoe know what's going on, and I'll see if we can bring you back to our encampment, and he'll fill you all in. He knows everything. And to be honest, I don't know how much I can tell you. Ethan, you stay here, you keep your mouth shut, and we'll be back shortly.
I'll unknock my arrow.
Okay.
And as the guy walks out of the area, I'll be like, Ethan, that's some nice armor you got there.
That is you, Dave, by the way.
Yep. All right, so I thank him for that. The armor actually used to belong to my grandfather, who was some sort of knight, and I'm trying to take up in his honor. So Ethan's character, he's about 5'10", 5'11"-ish. He's wearing plate armor. He's got a long sword and a shield that has this griffin logo inscribed on it, but he's not quite sure what the significance of that is or isn't. He's got long brown hair that used to be probably pretty well kept, but less. It's obviously, he's been out here for a little while. He also has a beard that at one point was probably also neatly trimmed with like the mustache that kind of points out and the beard that goes there, but now it's just all bushy and like moss and all kinds of other stuff. It's sort of started to stick into it.
So as you are having the conversation and sort of giving Ethan the once-over, the other three gentlemen begin to pick their way back through the fens. They're heading in a westerly direction towards what looks like it's essentially a hilltop, like a hill crest, a rise above the swamp that overlooks the swamp, dense copse of trees in that area. They seem to be moving pretty quickly, as if they know the terrain quite well. What I'll, not to metagame here, but just to sort of set the table for Dave here. What Dave, you've essentially been with this party for about 3 days. You've come to this area, because you're essentially questing to find you're essentially on your quest to regain knighthood or to gain knighthood. And you've heard that there have been troubles. The group that you're following are not necessarily the most law-abiding group in the world, but they certainly are well aware of the activity in the caves. They seem to be a ragtag sort of group, think Robin Hood style, from the surrounding area. Mostly ex-mercenaries, ex-caravan guards, folks that have lost their gainful employment simply because the trade routes have been stopped. And they have banded together, for better or for worse, to essentially try to oh, that's oddly specific. They essentially are trying to monitor the roads and sort of like create safe ways for travelers and things of that such. So you have sort of joined with them, but you're not from the area, and you're certainly not a super well trusted member of the group. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. My character is lawful.
Yep.
So he probably would have joined on to take part in like the protection thing.
Yep.
But yeah, my main goal is to find out what's going on and put an end to it. So yeah.
I would probably show off my plate mail as well. I'd move my cloak and be like, unscratched. Bought it myself. My older brother got my dad's armor.
It is most impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I had it made perfectly to fit me and only me. So don't get any ideas.
I never would. I admire its craftsmanship, but I'm quite comfortable with my own.
Okay. See this dragon here? I just thought that would be really cool. It doesn't mean anything. It's just awesome.
So as you guys are having this conversation, you sort of notice out of the corner of your eye, LBJ, who has been standing at the top of the mound, sort of holding out this necklace that he has that has sort of these, like dragon head trinkets carved, crudely carved around them. And he keeps holding it out and looking sort of oddly confused as to why it's not having any reaction.
A normal state.
Exactly.
I'm looking at our new member here. I'm looking at his shield and wondering if the necklace heads look the same as this griffin thing. I'm trying to figure that out. It could be close. I think they're related. There could be some relation.
So
look, a squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. So Ethan, you see LBJ just sort of looking from the necklace to your shield back to the necklace.
So I take notice of this, and being a generally trusting sort, I just see that he's eyeing my shield. So I just sort of hold it out and it's like, if you wish to examine it, you may.
I get up real close and look at it.
I let him know he can actually hold it instead of just getting awkwardly close to me and staring at it.
Be careful, Ethan. He might try to eat it.
No, I've been told not to touch things. I may walk off with it.
Duly noted. And I clutch this shield a little bit tighter in my hands.
Have you been to these caves?
I have not, no. I've only actually been with this group for a couple of days now. So, but if you intend to go, I would wish to accompany you.
Well, we seem to be one member short, so.
You would leave your other friends for us, huh?
I just met them.
I mean, you just met us.
That's true.
How can we trust you?
Your goals and mine align more than theirs and mine.
Well, why would he lie?
I mean, he's turning his back on the others after 3 days. It just seems odd. That's all.
Can't you just let someone believe in the elf on the damn shelf?
Yeah.
Never.
I believe. You're going to be disappointed when you don't hear those sleigh bells on Christmas Eve.
I know what Santa got me.
As you are having this conversation, you hear some whistling, off to the west, in the direction that the other three guys that Ethan was with headed. Ethan, you would recognize that they are whistling. Essentially, they are signaling, to each other that all is good, and you would assume that, based on hearing that whistle, that all is well at this point. So,
yeah, sounds good.
What do you guys want to do? Do you want to?
You got any problem collecting noses? We're out here getting noses.
Noses from the creatures that are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
We got a bag. Where's that bag at?
I believe you. You don't have to actually show me.
Aren't you carrying that bag? I thought you were, LBJ. I don't got a bag.
No, they won't let me. Afraid I might snack on them.
It must be Astrid then holding that bag.
I didn't think cartilage. I didn't think I had the bag. And Astrid kind of starts to dig through her backpack a little bit. No, I don't have the bag.
Did you guys leave it
Did you
in the hole
lose
with Emerald?
the bag already?
I don't carry. I mean, maybe Emerald had the bag. I never touched a bag. I wasn't even in there with you guys.
We tell you about Emerald. He died.
I mean, I was in there, but it was pretty much when it ended.
You have my condolences.
Well, should we head to this encampment?
Or the caves. Do we want to go west or east?
Oh no, we're going east, but I thought he was going to show us where the caves were.
I mean, if he's going to show us and everything, I'm fine with that. Let's go sit with... Will your friends let us sit with them and break bread?
Yeah, that's the three went back to check and see
Yeah.
if it was okay, right? They were going to go and let Roscoe, whoever Roscoe is, know what was going on, and they were going to, they were having Ethan sit here and babysit you. So that's why I'm asking, what do you want to do? You guys want to wait, or do you want to move on?
I'm going back down into the hole to get the bag.
You realize that there's still live lizard folk down there, right?
Yeah,
Like
I got the necklace though.
Okay. So you see, again, as you're having this conversation, you see LBJ scrambling down the mud hole in the mound. LBJ, you reach the bottom, sort of, you make it down that 4 feet. And then there's that sort of 2.5 or 3 feet of small that you have to kind of army crawl through. You're going in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I'm going to stand at the top of the hole, just kind of listening and making sure that nothing goes wrong.
Okay. So
I'll just say your friend must be a great warrior to so bravely enter that cave.
I mean, Ethan, if you want to go in with him and show us your expertise, I mean, you would be really well suited with that armor and shield. That's a nice
true,
longsword
but
you have there, too. That would work great down there.
yeah, I think I'll just wait here and trust in the abilities of your comrade.
Okay.
So
Me too.
LPJ, you make it to the, you sort of squirm along to the end. Again, you can see sort of that nest that's off in the corner. It is really dark. That's about all you can see, right? Like you because you didn't have the torch, right? Didn't Astrid have the torch?
Yeah, I do have a torch that I could light.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to light it
so I can see something. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right.
So you sort of squirm through and then strike your tinderbox to light your torch, and you see the 4 smaller sort of lizard beasts still kind of in front of the nest, and they're basically doing that hissing, clicking sound at you. They seem quite defensive.
Okay, I pick the necklace up.
Okay, and as you raise the necklace again, and again, I'm going to say it. There's a difference between prostrate and prostate, just so we all know.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that.
And so, so the 4 sort of lizard creatures prostrate themselves in front of you immediately as soon as they see the necklace.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to Emerald's body, and as I'm gonna reach down in my pouch and get some of my rations out and throw them to them.
Okay, when you throw the rations over, they sort of instinctively pull back and hiss and click a little bit. But whether it's the smell or whether they recognize what it is or they can just smell what it is immediately, so they kind of pull back instinctively and then sniff the air, and one of them runs over and kind of grabs the rations to its chest and runs back over to the nest, and it looks like it's offering it to the young.
Okay, so I collect the bag of noses.
Well, okay, and so then at this point, is when you realize that there is nothing on Emerald's body. That Sloppy actually looted Emerald's body and has everything that Emerald was carrying.
Did I? Oh, I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
you did.
They must have taken him.
I should also point out at this time that at no point was I ever actually carrying the bag of noses.
I think it was LBJ. There's no way I was carrying it.
I will point out at this
zero
point that
chance I was carrying noses, so I know I'm off the hook with this one.
how close am I to the carcasses on the that are hanging?
So they're hanging along the wall, sort of to the back by the nest. So you would have to approach the nest to approach the carcasses. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, since the body's been looted, nothing here.
Yeah.
I've fed the masses, and show them the necklace one more time.
Okay. And again, they sort of they bow and hiss, but not. It doesn't sound aggressively. It's more like cooingly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there. So yeah. And you make your way back up. So you guys see LBJ squirm his way back up the hole, and he doesn't look very happy, right? Like he's empty-handed and completely covered in mud and not very happy looking. So yeah.
Look,
So
are
he
you
looks
ready
normal.
to go yet?
Yeah, I'm ready. We had to wait for
Okay.
LBJ. I mean, now he's covered in mud. Do we want to leave?
So-
do you need help getting that off?
As
That's good.
as LBJ
Moisturizes.
as LBJ is coming up out of the hole, again, you hear a set of whistles, which Ethan, you recognize as, basically come here. Like they're calling you back to essentially your campsite.
Okay, I'll let the rest here know that it's okay to go back.
Those bird people.
Bird people.
Whistling.
Don't you know how to whistle?
Nope.
Well,
Astrid, can you whistle? Whistle for us.
Astrid
give it a
demonstrates
try,
whistling perfectly.
Come on, Astrid. Show us what you can do. Oh, I didn't know Astrid couldn't whistle. I'm sorry, Astrid. I know Paula can't, but didn't know Astrid couldn't.
Okay, thanks.
I can't whistle either, so don't feel bad.
Perfect.
So I reach into this bag and pull out a book. Does anyone know how to read this stuff? Like, I can read it, but I can't do it. There's sleep or something in here. I hold up this spell book.
You wouldn't even know that. You'd need read magic to be able to tell even what the spell is. It just looks like arcane. It just looks like arcane markings within Emerald's book.
Oh, I give it to Astrid anyway. Here you go, Astrid. Sorry for making fun of your whistling.
I can hold on to this.
LBJ, do you want this big sword? Maybe we can give it to our new friend. Our new friend might want this. I have no need for it.
So we're heading to... Sorry.
I was just going to say I appreciate the offer, but this sword is a family heirloom.
This one's bigger.
You
don't want to damage your family heirloom. That goes above a fire mantle. This, you get down and dirty with this thing.
Oh, this sword's already seen some action.
Oh, okay. I can respect that. LBJ, you want this big sword?
Bring it with us.
All right. I don't want to carry all this stuff for very long.
Then you shouldn't have looted the body.
Maybe we should sell it to Ethan's friends.
To be fair, looting a body is the time-honored tradition when a comrade falls.
True.
Which, and speaking of Ethan's friends, you hear the whistling again, more persistent.
Guys, I think they're waiting for us.
I think
we should go.
So, I'm assuming you guys are all following Ethan. He knows, where he's headed. He's leading you westward, out of the swamp, up this hill into a pretty dense copse of trees on the rise.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on her back. I'll stay in the back and watch out. So
you make it to the hilltop. You see there's maybe a dozen men up on this hill, just into the tree line, so just out of sight. They have a pretty strong, welcoming fire going. You can see tents set up. It looks like they've been, looks like they're established here, like they've been here for quite a bit. And as you enter essentially the circle where the campfire is, big burly guy, really broad-shouldered, thick, almost like, looks like he almost has no neck. His neck is so thick it's almost like a part of his shoulders. Steps forward and says, "Name's Roscoe," and he puts his hand he puts his hand out and he says, "Anybody damn fool enough or damn brave enough to go into that mound deserves a warm welcome." And he walks right up to you, LBJ, and offers out his hand.
I'll whisper that he has a very firm grip, so be prepared.
So I shake his hand.
So he slaps you on the back and says, "Come on, sit down, have a drink. You guys look like you need a drink."
Yeah, I guess so.
And so there is basically it's a wooden keg off in the corner next to one of the tents. It looks like a food tent, for lack of a better word. There's sort of cleaned animal skins and cleaned carcasses stacked in this tent, and next to it is this keg. One of the, not Roscoe himself, but one of the other men that are sitting around the fire draws off 4 drinks for each of you, or 4 drinks, 1 for each of you, and hands them around, and they say, sit by the fire. We have so much to ask you.
Gotta be a lot warmer next to this keg.
Have a seat. Pick your poison. Pick your place. You go for it. You deserve it.
Astrid takes her drink and goes and sits by the fire. She's pretty excited to learn more about what these guys are doing and hear about these caves. So
as you guys sit down, first of all, when you taste the beer, it is a bit stale. It's a bit flat, and it's certainly a little bit south of good. It tastes like it's tasting like it's a little bit soured. You look around and you can see these guys are not really all that, they're not well fed. They're certainly not, looks like they haven't bathed in months. They kind of look like LBJ, right? Like they're just dirty, mangy guys that reek of urine and stale beer, right? And but
family reunion.
But what you do see in them, right, is a real sort of wiry determination. These look like folks who have been out here for a while and are pretty used to living off the land. And so they all, as you sit down around the fire, everyone else sort of raises their mugs and says to the idiots, and then like everybody else kind of raises their mugs, and they all like look at you, right? And they cheer, and they're laughing and joking, and it's a really jovial atmosphere. Roscoe kind of stands up in front of the fire, and the rest of the group becomes silent. You can tell that they're pretty subservient to him. You can tell that he seems to be the leader, not so much through charisma, but probably through fear. They clearly respect him. He doesn't, just based on his size alone is probably how he ended up being the leader. But they do defer to him. And so he stands up and he says, so let's begin at the beginning. Why the hell were you traipsing through the Swamp of Sorrows?
So we heard that there were beastmen on the road, and they've been harassing people. And so it is our quest to rid the
They've been killing
area
people, Astrid. Get it right. They've been
of
killing
this-
everybody on the road.
That too. They've been doing that. But we are on a mission to rid the world of their evil, so that the good people of this land can thrive again.
And he kind of rubs his chin and thinks for a second. He looks down at his beer and he says, well, that's a pretty noble cause indeed. I'm guessing you didn't come to that decision on your own, though, right? That damn fool Han sent you out here, didn't he?
Who?
Caleb Han, the priest.
Oh, I mean, I think we talked to him for a little bit, didn't we?
You're not the first.
Oh.
And my guess is you won't be the last.
Oh no, we'll be the last. We're going to take care of this problem.
You got a thing for
With your
noses,
help.
man.
You're going to join the cause, right?
And with that, he laughs, literally laughs outside, or laughs out loud. Look around you, son. I want you to just look around you for a minute. You see all of these men sitting here?
Yeah, they all look like big, strong guys.
Yeah, right. Well,
I don't see any cowards, do I?
They all believed in that cause once too, but sometimes you just got to realize when you're being played for a fool. Don't play checkers, son. Play chess.
Well,
Right.
maybe the problem is that you don't need to send a bunch of men in, but maybe you need some female assistants in your group. That's the real issue. You don't have enough. You don't have
knows
enough
what she's talking about.
representation.
You may be right. It has been a coon's age since I have seen someone of the female persuasion. You may be right. You may be right.
So if everybody here is kind of out here for the same thing, does that mean that you might have seen these creatures before?
Well, first of all, everyone out here is not out here for the same thing. I am not on some damn fool crusade from that hypocritical Caleb Han, right? I wouldn't rub 2 cents together to save his life. But that's me. So we're not all out here for the same thing. We are out here. Again, look around you. We're out here because, this is life. We're surviving. This doesn't have anything to do with any damn fool crusade. This is just how we get by. This is how we feed our families. This is how we live. This is not about doing good for St. Cuthbert or whatever the hell that Caleb Han has told you. Whatever.
I'm with you.
whatever lie he has spun or whatever tall tale he has told to get you to march out into the middle of the swamp of sorrows, I certainly couldn't say. But we're out here to feed our families.
Wouldn't it be
So
easier
let's
to
just
feed
get
your
that
families
straight.
if you got rid of the competition for the food, though?
Yeah, it would be damn straight. It would be a damn sight easier to feed our families if we got rid of the competition. However, I don't think you know what you're going up against. I would.
Well, why don't you
as a
tell
matter
us
of
about it
fact,
then?
as a matter of fact, I can't believe that you survived the Swamp of Sorrows, and the caves are 1,000 times worse than the Swamp of Sorrows.
Is that a lot?
And little lady, if I knew what you were going up against, I would tell you. But I am not stupid enough, and I am not crazy enough, and I am not
ballsy enough.
I am
Just
not
admit it.
Ballsy enough to march my happy ass over to the caves and face the things that are there. Now, if you ask me what I have seen on the roads, I can tell you I have seen things that would make a grown man's hair fall out of his head. But what's there? Death. Death is what awaits you to the east, little lady. Death.
Well, it just so happens that I'm headed east. So if you want to point me in the direction of these caves, I'd be happy to take on something, that might scare you. Doesn't scare me.
So
what have you seen?
I have done my best to try to warn you against going to where it seems you want to go and certain death. You can insult my manhood all you'd like. You can call me a coward. You can call me anything that you'd like. I'm simply telling you the truth. I would not go there. If you insist on going there, I have done my duty by you and I have warned you against it. If you insist on going to the caves, I can draw you a map.
Perfect. I don't have a piece of paper, but if I did, I would hand you one.
So he pulls out essentially they're like leaves, large sort of dried leaves, like think that are fallen, and he pulls a piece of charcoal from the fire, and he draws a crude map. Essentially, he draws in the river. You can recognize it as the river that you were following, draws in the swamp. This is why I really wish that I could share my screen. And running along the river is what you recognize. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, you can if you want to.
What you recognize as the Eastern Road. So the road that you were following, the Eastern Road looks like it runs about a mile. He's written on there about a mile, and it turns sharply to the north. Another half mile or so up the road, and then off to, right off the road on the western embankment, you'll find a ravine, and within that ravine lies your destiny.
So, Roscoe, what are these things that you said would make men's hair fall out? I want to hear more about that.
They're not men, son. They're not men. They're vicious things twice the size of men with teeth the size of your fingers, razor sharp claws, beasts that you've only seen in your nightmares, son. You're not dealing with bandits. You're dealing with demonic beasts.
But do they got a nose?
That's an important question. What
So
say you, Roscoe?
when LBJ says, "Do they got a nose?" Like literally, Roscoe kind of chokes on his beer a little bit, and says, "Say what, son?"
We're getting paid by the nose.
You didn't hear me, Steve. I said they got a nose.
I suppose they would have some semblance of a nose, what you might consider a nose. Maybe.
Close enough. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, Roscoe looks over at Astrid, then looks at Sloppy, and says, "This interesting company you keep. I see how you ended up on that mound."
We got a job to do, Roscoe. We're very thorough.
Well, I can offer you drink. I can offer you dinner. And I can offer you advice. You won't take my advice, so at least take my drink and dinner. I'd hate to send you to your death on an empty stomach. And with that, one of the member of the crew gets up and starts, slicing off slabs of meat from essentially deer carcass that they're roasting over the fire, and they hand it to you on sort of crude, battered copper plates.
High living.
Yeah, you even got a plate.
You are growing on me. What do you guys do? Everyone's sitting around eating, drinking. They've gone back to sort of telling their stories. And essentially, it's back to normal. They're all interacting with each other, telling stories of monsters they've bested, of different caravan routes that they've gone on, different battles that they've been in. And they're starting to get progressively more and more drunk.
Is it like evening time?
It is, yeah.
Okay. All right. So do we want to stay here for the night then?
Yeah, we should set up our camp. No point in trying to walk in the dark.
You are more than welcome.
We'll head for the caves in the morning. That'd be perfect.
So you guys, you have space to set up your bedrolls, tents if you have them, and you don't like. There is essentially, you can see that there is guard around. In other words, they already have a pre-established kind of watch. I don't know if you guys want to keep a watch on their watch, but certainly they do. At some point during the meal, though, right? Roscoe looks up at Ethan and says, "Well, son, you got a decision to make. Looks like you want to go with these folks. You gonna go to your death, or you gonna stay here with us?"
Well, I was gonna wait till after we ate to discuss this with you, but I thank you for everything that you've done for me these last few days. I really appreciate it. But it was always my intention to investigate those caves once I learned of them. And these guys are going there, and they've got a better chance of survival with me with them than with me staying here.
And so Roscoe looks over at LBJ and looks back at you and says, "Well, I don't doubt that. You take care of yourself, though, son. If you need anything at all, you know where to find us."
Absolutely, and I'll be sure to return after we've explored, and if there's anything I can bring back for you, I will.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Sloppy Sherman probably would have found a way to get himself asleep up in a tree somewhere.
Okay. So what you're saying is you're
to a branch.
You're gonna tie yourself to a branch. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna climb a tree and
yeah.
Okay. So you guys see Sloppy, as the night progresses, and everyone's starting to get more drunk. You see Sloppy climbing up a tree, and legitimately the guys around the campfire are just kind of pointing and laughing. Like, yeah. Well.
My character doesn't really drink that much. Like, he has one for every 4 that everyone else does.
Yep.
So seeing this character going up into the tree, I'm gonna hang by and stay close, just in case.
I'm probably not trashed either. My guy's not a big drinker either.
Yeah, no, Sloppy doesn't Sloppy didn't even drink at all when he was in
No?
the. Yeah, he's not a drinker. So
No, but
Stay
with-
back and watch and observe and keep his distance type.
But with 2 hit points, falling out of that tree could be fatal. So
good point.
Could be.
point.
Could
yeah,
be.
that's not how you want to go out.
Yeah, 1d6 per 10 feet. So yeah, right.
He could like trip over a stick and just like
He could honestly
it.
get a paper cut, right? And
No way.
I'm assuming LBJ is not abstaining though, correct? Right? Like LBJ is probably
No.
drinking straight from the keg. So
He's
Yeah,
drinking
exactly.
straight from his cup he brought.
oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
still got his cup. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I am not giving that plate back. This is like incredible. This awesome plate I've been given.
Fine dining.
You know, it is a battered copper plate. I will say it is copper. So yeah.
The nicest thing that you now own.
might be.
So you guys see LBJ kind of drinking from the spigot of the keg as he's taking this copper plate and shoving it down like the front of his pants and hoping that nobody notices. So yeah. And Roscoe actually looks over and says, yeah, we don't want that back now anyway, son. It's fine. You keep that.
Thank you, Steve.
And just make eye contact with him the whole time you're sliding it into your.
Astrid seems unfazed by any of this and has actually kind of set up her like a bedroll, which I really hope I purchased, alongside the tents that are out here, and she's definitely the first one in bed for the night, and it almost doesn't even bother her that everybody's still up and making noise. She goes to bed early.
Nice. And it's a beautiful starry night, clear skies, a bit brisk, as the sort of the seasons are now changing and winter is fast approaching. I'm not stealing anything from Game of Thrones. It's not like the winter is coming. It's just like there actually is, the seasons are changing. So it's a bit brisk, but the skies are really clear. The moon is full and beautiful and sort of hanging low on the horizon. It's just a beautiful night altogether, and as Astrid sort of beds down to sleep, you can hear kind of the murmuring and laughter of all of the folks around you, kind of really just enjoying the night. And it's the first time since arriving here at Griffin's Rest that you've actually, felt merriment and happiness. Everything seems so super grim, whereas these folks out here are really just enjoying themselves. And then every so often you can sort of hear a snore from off up in a tree, a couple trees away, as Sloppy is just kind of like drooling and snoring to himself as he falls asleep. So and with that, morning comes, whereas last night seemed all about merriment and making happy and drinking. This morning, these guys seem pretty much full of business, right? They're busy prepping the camp. You can see 4 of them head off to go patrol the roads as they normally do. Everyone else is kind of doing whatever their assigned job or duty is. So it's bustling, almost the opposite of what it was last night. They seem to be all down to business this morning. So what do you guys do?
I probably would have eaten any leftover meat by the fire. And as soon as I was done, if anyone was still sleeping, I'd probably wake them up and be like, all right, guys, we got to get on the road. Get to those caves.
I believe everyone, I don't want to speak for the party, but I believe everyone is awake within the entire camp, right? I would imagine that you guys woke up just hearing the bustling. They get up with the break of dawn. Everyone except LBJ, of course, who's probably passed out in a drunken haze somewhere.
Oh, he's awake now. I woke him up. You still got that plate?
Yeah.
It's got to be worth at least 1 or 2 silver. Good find. I'm proud of you.
It's almost a tenth of a nose.
You can eat off it later. I'll let you borrow it.
All right. I don't know after where it's been, but we'll see. What do you think of that Ethan guy?
He's all right.
He looks strong. Do you think you could take him in an arm wrestling match?
I don't know.
I'll take that as a no. Ethan's my new cash cow here. I'm riding him to the end. Woo! Do your best to keep up, LBJ.
I didn't know we had any animals.
I'm so confused.
That was everybody else.
Astrid, Ethan, you guys ready to hit the road?
Oh, Astrid has been up for a while now.
I didn't ask if you're awake. I said, are you ready to hit the road?
Yes, the answer is yes. She was born ready. She's been waiting for you guys.
Oh, well, someone had to wake up LBJ over here.
So who has the map right now? So we don't lose track of this, like we lost track of the bag. Also, did we ever decide, does Sloppy actually have the bag of ears? I think he did, because Emerald never had it. So who?
I don't know if we ever designated who had the ears in the first place. I guess
you guys just don't get ears or noses. I guess you're not getting paid for your noses.
He was cutting them off, so he would have had the thing of it, right? Maybe it's been on LBJ's backpack the whole time.
Yeah,
and so because he can't see it, he just doesn't know where it's at.
I think actually
it's like glasses being on his forehead and he's looking for them.
Not to metagame or anything, but I actually think that LBJ would probably hang the noses around his necklace that he got.
Yes. That's what I thought was happening the whole time. I didn't even know there was a bag, so that was all news to me.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an extra bag.
All right, so Astrid has the leaf map, for lack of a better word, and the day is dawning. The day is young. What do you guys want to do? Everyone's awake. I was going to say everybody's
Hey guys, I'm not going to carry all of Emerald's old stuff. LBJ. I'm not going to carry this 10-foot pole or these iron spikes. Does somebody want? I'll take the hammer. The hammer's cool, and I'll take some torches. But Ethan, do you want some of this stuff? You're new. Maybe you need some stuff.
Oh, not to metagame, but I took pretty much all the same starting equipment. So I will take the spikes, though. If you don't want them, I will take them.
Yeah, I don't think I'll need those.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take those then. So I got 24 now instead of 12.
I already have a 10-foot pole, so I think I'm good with just one.
So we've got 2 10-foot poles? This is a third?
No, I already have one. I don't need 2.
Right. And Ethan just said he already has a 10-foot pole.
I do, yeah. So
do you need a pole, LBJ?
I reckon maybe.
Here you go. Take this pole, and I'll toss it over to him.
Okay, you toss the 10-foot pole over to LBJ.
Yeah. I'll take that bedroll if nobody needs it.
I already used the bedroll last night.
Good for you. I got 2 water skins now. Ugh.
All right, so we have to head along the road.
The way that Roscoe has pointed
Right?
it out on your leaf map, essentially you're going to head east along the main trade road until it spikes north about a half a mile, and then you're just looking for a big ravine.
Perfect. Let's head to the road.
So you head down the hill, down the crest that you were on, and you come again to the river, the same river that you crossed initially to get into the swamp. You'll have to traverse the river. There's no bridge.
How wide was that river again?
The river itself is about 20 yards, 25 yards, depending on the location. And from crossing it last time, you estimate it to be 2.5 to 3 feet deep. It's not super deep, but it is fast moving, right? It's a fast rushing river.
Let's get to the other side.
I'll go ahead and venture into the water. Is anybody feeling unsure about crossing this river at all?
No. We made it just fine last time.
All right, let's do
I
this.
think it's the only way to get back to the road from here.
It is the only way. Yep. Well, I mean, you would
I
certainly
mean, I was
know
gonna-
that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna I don't know. Yeah, let's just.
Okay. So, Astrid, you're heading in. Is everyone following, or what's?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll follow.
Yep.
Yep.
I just imagine I'm the last one to cross to kind of watch everyone's back with my bow.
Okay. You make it across the river pretty uneventfully. Obviously you're wet. You're a little uncomfortable and a little cold because it's a little chilly, but you make it across. And to the main road, where you can head. Essentially, it's the main trade route. You can head east or west.
The
I
map
believe
says
we're
to go
headed
east, right?
east.
The map does say to go east. Yes.
So let's head in that direction. Astrid will actually tuck the map into the spell book that she took / has from Emerald, just for safekeeping, to make sure it doesn't get damaged.
Nice. And what, just for the sake of staking, what is the marching order currently?
I'll be up front.
Okay.
I can
So-
go next.
So Athan, Astrid,
And me, then.
so Sloppy's bringing up the rear. All right.
What a sentence.
Yeah, valid. Okay, so you start making your way. East. To the south of you is the river. The river sort of runs along that road, and then to the north of you is a really densely forested area. Not necessarily coniferous trees, more like deciduous trees. So think, maple, oak, elm, that sort of those types of trees. The leaves are just beginning to turn, so they're kind of like a beautiful sort of golden orangey red. Very thick though, and you can hear, as you're walking along, the tree line is actually pretty close to the road, and as you walk along, you can hear various animal sounds. None really sound threatening, but you can certainly hear that there's quite a bit of wildlife just off the road, into the tree line. Odd, actually, because you wouldn't expect them to be this fearless and come this close to the road, specifically as you're making your way down there. But you can hear quite a bit of wildlife. as you make your way eastward, you come to it's almost it's almost like a clearing, right? To the south or to your right, as you're heading east, is a big hill, 20, 30 feet high, not rocky though, grassy sort of hill rise. And then to the left, it's a massive open clearing, probably a good, it runs a good 80 yards back from the road to the forest, so the tree line sort of heads back, and about 120 yards across. It's basically it's like a football field, right? Clearing off to the north of you, and then to the south is this hill, and then the river sort of sharply turns south and around the other side of the hill. I'm assuming you guys are just continuing forward.
Just following the road, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, as you're walking along the road, you see sort of a flash of movement off to your left in the clearing itself. Clearly something darted out, and you can't really make out what it was because it's so far away. It's about 80 yards off in the distance, and really it was out of the corner of your eye, but you definitely catch some movement off to the north coming out of the tree line.
Did you guys see that? That might be dinner. It'd be a lot better than these rations, that's for sure.
It was
So
probably like a wolf or something.
That's delicious.
I'll draw my sword just in case.
Okay.
But do we really have time to cook a wolf?
Yeah, as far as I know, caves don't go anywhere.
You hear a deep, low growl.
Oh, that's a wolf, guys. I got an arrow knocked.
Okay.
Astrid will take out her hammer, tucks
Okay.
the spell book and the map away.
And then the sound, as quickly as it came, it diminishes. You don't hear it anymore.
We should stay on our guard nonetheless.
You feel as if you're being watched and or followed.
Guys, I think we're being watched or followed.
Astrid will continue to kind of move forward slowly, just trying to be aware of her surroundings.
Okay.
I guess she feels like if something's going to jump out at her, it's going to jump out at her, whether she stands here or whether she moves on. So
you begin to move. You're moving forward along the road, and the clearing bottlenecks. What I mean is the forest, the tree line comes back where it was pushed off. It comes back again. So the tree line now meets both sides of the road ahead of you towards the east. And as you approach, you're about 20 yards away. A small old man, maybe? Could be a woman, could be a man. Really sort of crazy matted hair, almost like dreadlocks, but not intentionally, just because it looks like the hair hasn't been washed in so long that it's just kind of matted. Literally wearing rags. It looks to be like a brown cloak, but that is so sort of flea bitten and holey and worn through that it's just legitimately rags, and legitimately twig sandals. Like it looks like this person has fashioned sandals out of twigs and leaves and rope, steps out of the tree line and into the middle of the road, and is just like standing there staring at you as you're approaching.
Are you okay? Astrid will kind of call out to the thing.
Do they look tasty? No, they don't look tasty to me.
Are you talking about us? Or are you talking about that?
And it says nothing. It just stands there.
Are you hungry?
We are hungry. We are hungry.
Can't have our cash cow.
Ethan is not a piece of meat, LBJ.
Who's we?
We.
How many is we?
We, me, and she are we.
Guys, I think there's 3 of them.
I'm counting one.
Is that thing in the field with this guy?
So Astrid will keep kind of moving forward cautiously.
Okay. And the little man doesn't move, but also doesn't break eye contact with you. Like as you're approaching, he's staring right into your face.
As I get closer, does it still, like, is it a person?
It appears to be human, and it does appear to be male. To be honest, you can't tell. It looks he or she is quite old, right? And again, there's no facial hair, but you can't really tell from the hair whether it's a male or a female. Moreover, because of the nature of the rags that it's wearing, you can't really tell anatomy-wise whether it's a male or a female either. So, but it does appear to be humanoid. It does appear to be human, yes.
And he's not acting aggressively. He's just staring at us intently.
He's not acting aggressively. He's just staring at you intently as you approach. Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep my sword in hand, but I'll leave it pointed down.
Okay.
So it's not threatening.
If this wolf gets within like 50 feet, I'm shooting it. You guys can play with the old man. Woman. I'm shooting the wolf and eating dinner.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes, I will say if this wolf gets within 50 feet, I'm shooting it.
And so basically you hear, Violet doesn't like wolves. No.
Yeah, Astrid doesn't like wolves either. No wolves. Astrid has no wolves.
No wolves.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue walking forward, just staring at it.
Okay. When you get to within, say, 10 feet of it, him, her, when you get to within 10 feet, it moves surprisingly fast, like shockingly fast, because it looks to appear to be this old, feeble person, but it closes the distance between you and it in the blink of an eye, and it is standing in front of you, and it closes the distance. It is standing in front of you, and it says, "Hungry? Yes, we're hungry."
Yeah. So Astrid will take off her backpack slowly. She's still got her hammer out, and she said, "I have food in my pack. I'll get out food." And she'll dig around and find a ration and try and give it to them.
So,
I'm going to keep an eye on this individual as well. Like, I'm going to be right up there because I was leading the group.
Yep.
So if it attacks or does anything aggressively, I will respond.
Yep. So he reaches out kind of hesitantly, like as if not to trust you, and then is kind of watching you, and then snatches the rations back. When it snatches the rations back, off to your left, just behind you in the tree line off the road, you hear that low, long growl, but even longer this time, or even louder this time. It sounds to be much closer, like a. And with that, the little man standing before you says, no, Violet, we're hungry. It's fine. It's okay. We are hungry. And he begins to dance around in a circle, sort of on his little tiptoes, sing-songing "We're hungry" as he's shoving the rations into his mouth.
I will take his weird dancing opportunity to move as quickly around him as possible.
So you move quickly around him. What are the rest of you doing?
I'll interpose myself between Paula's character.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll interpose myself between Paula's character, Astrid, and this person.
Okay. So you interpose yourself. Paula, you're going around. LBJ and Sloppy, what are you guys doing?
So Thief has hear noise.
Okay.
Can I just kind of like crouch down and listen? I know I heard that one growl. Can I see if I can hear any more? Like, is that the only one out there?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a roll.
Percentage. Oh, no, 90. No.
Yeah, no. Because of the nature of the forest, it's sort of muffling the sound. Plus, there's a lot of surfaces for it to echo off of. You can't really tell.
Okay.
So the growl is from a different direction than the spot where we saw movement.
Correct. It is now much closer. You saw movement when you were coming through the clearing. You're now sort of at the edge of the clearing, and you're hearing the growl off to the back and your left.
Gotcha. So I will move in the direction where we saw the movement.
Okay.
And away from the growling sound.
Yep.
And I'll still be waiting for that wolf thing to shoot it.
Okay. All right. So you still have your arrow knocked. Paula, you're going around. LBJ, you're sort of just holding back and listening. And Dave, you've kind of put yourself in between. Got it. Okay. Okay. So Paula, as you go to move around, and Dave, you move up, the guy kind of, he drops the rations. So like he was sort of sing-songing and dancing and dropping the rations, and eating the rations. He drops it to the ground and says, no, don't leave, so lonely. You talk, you stay, you talk.
I come back and talk and tell you many tales.
You talk now. You talk now. We lonely. Violet and me, she and me, we lonely.
Um, guys, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Kind of freaking me out a little bit. Him and his violet wolf.
Astrid, you got this. I got your back.
Astrid's just not gonna say anything. She's just gonna keep backing up, like still moving away from him. She's gone around him, right? She's still moving down the road,
Right.
but she's definitely looking at him, and just saying like, "We'll be back. We'll be back. Great tales. We'll tell you great tales."
So, almost in a really kind of his voice and demeanor changes immediately, and instead of this sort of the high almost sing-songy voice, you hear no, and out from behind. So as you're turned facing him, and Dave, you're sort of facing from the opposite way, so you can see jumping out behind Astrid in front of you, this massive mountain lion sort of jumps out into the path and is blocking the way. So it is now LBJ and Sloppy, this crazy person. Well, LBJ and Sloppy, you, Ethan, the crazy person, and then Astrid, and then behind Astrid, this mountain lion. So, and
Going well.
as the mountain lion jumps out onto the path, you hear that same low, sort of extended growl as it is just sort of there with its rear end down, and it's sort of on its back haunches and its front legs poised to strike.
Astrid, it
So
doesn't sound
it
like you
wasn't-
got it over there.
So it wasn't a wolf.
Oh, see, I thought it was coming from two different directions. Okay, never mind. I thought there was like two different things other than the crazy person.
So when the mountain lion jumps out, Astrid will change her gaze from crazy dancing person to mountain lion, and she's just trying to, like, good kitty, everything's fine. She's just continuing to like try and move down the road.
So
Right.
so you're sort of hesitantly and cautiously basically trying to, good kitty, and continue to move down the road. As you go to move forward, the mountain lion tenses. You can see it tensing, and the crazy person says, Violet doesn't want you to leave.
Guys, I think we have a situation.
As
So
soon
I'll-
as she says
I'll-
that, my arrow shoots.
Okay.
Okay, well, I was going to try to talk to him, but I guess it's too late for that.
Screw the cat. We need the XP.
Okay, so A,
You can
I
get
guess that's
XP
true. I
for
don't
not
have
killing
any, so.
things.
so
That's the weak way.
that's going to call for an initiative roll, right?
Mhm.
But also it's break time, right? It's 9
Yes.
o'clock, and so what we'll do is when we come back from this break, we'll roll initiative and we'll see whether you get your arrow off first or whether Violet gets to have a tasty snack on Astrid. So
Sounds good. Bye-bye,
Okay.
Astrid. I mean, we'll be right back, guys.
You know.
We're going to do round initiative,
Oh
sort of
yeah.
side
Might not even have
initiative.
to do
So,
anything. Perfect.
right.
We're back, by the way.
Welcome back. So I was just discussing with the party that technically, Violet gets first. She always attacks first in every round, but since I already called for an initiative roll, we are going to and this is actually how I'm going to adjudicate this. This is how I'm going to roll this. I'm going to say, since Sloppy had his arrow knocked, that there's going to be a chance that he'll be able to act because he's such a fantastic bowman, that he might be able to get off an attack before the mountain lion does. So we are going to roll for initiative. Who is rolling initiative for the party, by the way?
Can I do it?
Yes.
Sherman was.
I believe you were.
Yeah.
If you roll a 20, you lose automatically. I swear to you. If you roll a 20-sided dice, that you lose automatically.
Roll a d6.
Roll again.
Like last time, he's like, "Oh, I have a 19." No, not dude.
And you're
not
like,
what do I add to it again?
Yeah, right.
What do I add to it again?
Dex.
Your dex modifier, whatever your initiative modifier.
Oh, see, this is a good thing then. A 6.
So you got a 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the initiative. So here, let me just lay out the scene for you again, right? So there is a mountain lion who is essentially behind Astrid. Dave, you or Ethan, you interceded yourself between the crazy person and Astrid. So essentially what we have is a mountain lion. We have Astrid. We have Ethan. Then we have the crazy matted hair, like homeless person, however you want to describe him, and then LBJ and Sloppy are behind them. Is everyone kind of clear in their mind how we're set up at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys get first actions. So what would you like to do? Missile fire is going to go first.
Yep, and I'm going to hit the cat first.
So missile fire is going first. There are no spells, so there are no spells, so it doesn't matter. And then we're going to have melee attacks. So yeah, you get yours first. You get off your first shot, Sloppy. Make it a good one, buddy.
Armor class 2.
Yeah, that is it.
Oh. For 5 points.
Okay. So
is that get a +1 to damage because it's within range?
You get no so yes, I was going to say you get no bonus to damage based on your dex modifier, but
right. But it's within
range,
50 feet, I think.
It is definitely within 50 feet. Yeah.
So then it would have been 6 then.
Okay, so you draw back, you already had your bow knocked. You draw back, it strikes true. You see it sort of hits in the chest right along, sort of right under its armpit, if you will. And the mountain lion kind of yelps a little bit, but it doesn't appear deterred. It still looks like it's going to leap, which brings us to Astrid. You are basically the only other person within melee range to this mountain lion.
All right, Astrid is going to take a step back and she is going to swing at it with her warhammer, and that is a 4.
So you rolled a 4, or you hit an AC of 4?
Show us
AC.
AC of 4. Okay, yeah, that is a hit. That's absolutely a hit.
Okay, sweet. That is 6 points of damage.
Okay. So your hammer strikes through. You clock it right over the top of the head, and it does actually appear a bit stunned. Blood is kind of coming out of its ears, and the arrow blood is coming down its side. But it is still standing, and it's not. It doesn't appear it doesn't appear mortally wounded at this point, I guess is what I'm saying. So it just looks angry, which brings us to, folks who would like to, basically LBJ and Ethan, what would you like to do?
So I would want to protect my ally.
Yep.
So I would want to move up to the lion, mountain lion, and attack.
You could actually move forward and attack. You are, so although you're not within melee range, you are so within BX, right? You can move and attack if you're within closing range, right? And so you're about 10 feet away, which is clearly within closing range. You can move forward and pull off an attack.
Okay, then that is what I would like to do.
However, as you do that, though, keep in mind that you're opening yourself up to you're basically having to go through the hermit, right?
Yep.
And so he's going to get an attack on you as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Armor class 2.
Okay. You absolutely is a hit.
Okay. Oh, no, sorry. My armor class is 2 if he's attacking me.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. Well, no, I need your attack and then we'll
okay.
We'll resolve it. Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah. So I hit armor class 3.
Which is a hit, yes.
Okay.
This poor mountain lion. I hope the PETA people aren't watching.
If PETA people are watching, screw them.
I mean,
so that's
I'm right
6 points of
here.
damage.
You are not a PETA person.
I'm sorry, how many points of damage?
6.
Okay, tell us what that looks like. You drop this mountain lion. What does that look like?
Oh, okay. So I, seeing that it's pouncing towards Astrid, I just sort of close the gap, take my sword, just swing it down, and just come right across and hit it sort of in the neck.
Yep.
And just slide the sword across as far as I can.
Nice. And the mountain lion sort of lets out a guttural moan, and then drops. And then LBJ, what would you like to do?
So how far is the hermit from me?
So you and Sloppy were at the rear, approximately 15 feet in front of you, 15 to 20 feet. You would not be able to close an attack. You could close distance.
Okay, how far is he from the woods?
So he's standing, actually Astrid, Ethan, and the hermit are standing where the woods have come in. So like the woods are like 5 feet to either side. The woods kind of closed in, the clearing closed off, and the woods have come up to the side of the road.
Okay, can I make it from where I am into the woods?
Yeah, without question. Yep.
Okay, that's what I do.
Okay, so
Deserter.
you guys see also, are you going off to the left or to the right? Just so I know in my own mind.
To the left.
Okay. You guys see LBJ dart off to the left. As this happens, and this is all kind of happening simultaneously, as LBJ darts off to the left, and Dave, you darted forward past the hermit and dropped the mountain lion. When the hermit hears the mountain lion drop and looks and sees it, sort of hears that guttural moan and sees it drop, he screams, "Violet!" And he immediately lunges after you. Also, not metagaming, I sort of have to tell you this. He is a 3rd level thief, and you do have your back to him, right, as you run past him. So he is going to attempt a backstab. And okay, so he is so shaken up overseeing his beloved Violet drop. He essentially lunges forward to attack you and completely misses because the tears in his eyes are sort of blinding his vision. We're now at the top of the order. Initiative once again. Violet would get to go first, but unfortunately, poor Violet, rest in peace, is no longer with us. So,
if you're watching this and you're playing Keep on the Borderlands, the cat's not a big deal, guys. Don't worry.
The cat is actually so.
That was pretty bad. We all hit really well.
Well, not only did you hit really well, what I will say is, so first of all, she has 15 hit points, right? But also, she gets 2 attacks, right? And like her attacks are pretty, like if she would have gotten to act first on the round, I'm pretty sure Astrid would be dead. Like I'm just, if she would have hit, like, yeah. So anyway, let's that aside, beat 5, Juice.
Oh. I tied a 5.
Okay. So what we're going to do now, right, is called simultaneous combat, right? So this means
there's a new weird mechanic I didn't know about? What the heck?
No, this is a real mechanic, right?
I know.
So what this means is all missile attacks are going to take place first, regardless of side, right? And then, actually all movement will take place, all missile attacks will take place, and then all melee attacks will take place. So I believe you're the only one firing, using missiles. So I think you're going first there, Sloppy. What do you want to do?
Yup. I'm definitely shooting the guy.
Okay.
Because that's my 14. Ooh, 17 on the die. That's definitely going to be like an armor class. Armor class -1.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
For maximum damage.
He's wearing rags.
Yeah. Maximum damage of 7.
Maximum damage of 7. Okay. Okay. So the arrow hits him hits him
back?
sort of hits him kind of in his midsection, and he hunches over. You can tell that you can absolutely tell that it hurt, but he is still standing. And so then melee attacks, which is going to be Astrid and Ethan and LBJ, unless you're what is your plan here, LBJ? I guess what I'm saying is you might be higher up in this order depending on what you're planning on doing.
My plan is to go.
If you're just moving, you're actually moving first. You're going first.
Yeah, I don't know. My plan is to move through the trees and try to come out behind him through the wood and stab him.
Got it. So you can definitely get through the trees, and you can get up behind him. I'm assuming you're trying for a backstab, but that's going to be next round. You're not going to be able to do that this round. Yeah. So you're positioning yourself. Yourself behind him, and then that brings us to Astrid and to Ethan, and actually to the Hermit as well. It's going to be simultaneous, which means technically both people could die here. So in other words, 2 people could die, which would be pretty cool. But Astrid, let's go with you. You're closest.
Okay, that is a armor class 0.
That's definitely a hit.
But that is a whopping 2 points of damage.
Okay.
So Astrid spins around with her warhammer to kind of address this hermit-looking guy, and is able to hit him, but had kind of miscalculated a little bit on where he was standing, so didn't do a whole heck of a lot of damage.
Kind of glances off of him. And you see, Ethan, you see Astrid sort of swing viciously, but a little bit wildly, and so it kind of glances off a bit. What do you do?
So I kind of pity this guy, truth be told. So I don't want to kill him, but I'm going to try to just strike him with like the pommel of my sword, or just try to incapacitate him instead of actually trying to kill him. Because if we knock him out, we can be long gone before he regains consciousness.
Okay. You can absolutely do that. Yep.
So that's the plan. The armor class 6.
So an armor class 6 does not hit. You basically try to hit him with the flat of your sword, and you're not used to striking. non-lethally, and so it glances off of you as you're doing this, right? Like, so as Astrid sort of strikes him with her hammer and you try to strike him with the flat of your sword, he lunges out at Astrid, who is standing directly in front of him, and so not a +6 at this point, he's got a +2. So I'm assuming an armor class of 0 is a hit?
Sure is.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. Oh shit. Okay. So he strikes out.
R.I.P.
He strikes out and does 5 points of damage. He's pretty quick, like he's lightning fast. You're shocked at how quickly he kind of lunges forward and gets a gut shot right in your liver. And is Astrid still standing?
Astrid is not.
Killer DM.
And then there were 2.
So Astrid
original.
was not really expecting him to go after her. She was thinking that clearly he would attack this large person next to her that,
I mean, I did kill the lion.
killed his lion. And she was not prepared and not expecting him to be as talented as he was.
Completely understandable. Also, and this all happened at the same time, right? You guys see, so LBJ and Sloppy, you see Athan try to strike with the flat of his sword against this person, and you see Astrid sort of take a blow with her hammer, but it glances off of his shoulder, and as she does that, he drives forward. He drives forward with his dagger, lightning fast. Unfortunately, doing max damage +1, and Astrid drops. But dice rolls are sacred, so don't hate me. So yeah.
So I no longer want to knock him out. I want him dead.
Okay,
I'll take care of that next round.
That also brings us to the top of the round, and we are back in initiative order. Beat 4 there, Sloppy.
I rolled a 4 on the die, +2 dex. 6.
So, all right. So you guys, seeing your compatriot drop in a bloody heap, you obviously spring forth and attack. What do?
Astrid starts to think about Sloppy starts to think about what Astrid said about needing the feminine, person along the journey, and realizes, yep, she was full of it. And then I loose another arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna miss. Armor class 12.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a hit. LBJ, you are in position for a backstab if you would like. Yep.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
So it's a +4, right? So,
correct.
Let's see if I can do this right. I would hit armor class 2, so it's a 17.
That is absolutely a hit.
And it's double the damage dice.
Sure is.
So it'll be 6 damage.
Okay, so you bring your sword down, and what does that look like? You drop him.
I just spring forth from the trees and just run him right through. And then when he drops, I start chopping.
And out of anger, as his body's starting to slump, I'll just take my longsword across and try to decapitate him.
Okay, so you guys are, you guys are desecrating the corpse of this mad hermit. I have to ask Astrid, and I should have done this for you as well, Emerald. And I apologize, although you were kind of in the midst of battle. If you have dying words or a dying action, right? Like, please take them. It's you have the stage, I guess is what I'm saying.
Do I have to have a dying action?
You absolutely don't. Like, you could just die. You could go out with a whimper if you'd like. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm already on my next character here. So like
I guess she's moved on.
How many
Bill just
HP
pulled a Juice and pretended that Paula was Martin.
How many HP? It sucks to suck. How many HP did Astrid have?
She had 5.
Oh man, that sucks hardcore.
I know.
That really sucks.
That's pretty good for
Like,
her.
They were
Right?
a weak 5. Mine are a strong 2. Now you see the difference, Astrid.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
Sloppy,
and I have an
Sloppy-
I'm armor class 3.
Sloppy,
I'm
Sloppy, Sloppy
not really
never.
bad.
Well, I unfortunately for you, so because of his madness, right? He gets a +2 on just any regular attack. He actually gets a +6 on a backstab. Like, he's actually pretty. He's a 3rd level thief, I guess is what I'm saying. So it was not. It wasn't necessarily a fair fight, Astrid. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about it. Like, yeah, at all.
You must have rolled pretty crappy to miss me with the backstab then.
Okay.
I actually rolled a 2 on the dice. So
That'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. yeah. So I actually think with that, and I hope the stream doesn't mind, right? But like with a character death, I think that we're going to end it for tonight, right? And then we'll, that's about as good a cliffhanger I think as we can possibly get, right? We're all waiting with bated breath to see what Astrid, what her incarnation is, what she comes back as.
She's going to roll straight 18s.
I do just want to say, right? Like, so here's the thing. I know a lot of Juice's fans are, Pathfinder 2nd Edition and 5e fans, right? And I get that you guys are not used to character death, right? But like,
oh no, they watch me run games. I
this
kill people all the
is
time.
this is how the OSR goes, right? Like, 1st through 3rd level, you're simply not safe at all, right? Like, you're not like the chances of character death are high. And what I would say is, again, like, it was a good death, much like with Emerald. If you're dying in battle, it's a good death. It wasn't a waste. And I'm sorry, don't send me your hate mail. It's not my fault. Okay?
Oh no. Post your hate mail in the comments below. We love that shit. We eat it up. It's like Wheaties. It's a breakfast of champions.
Once you guys get used to it, you'll love character death. You'll embrace it. Like, you really will. It'll be absolutely fantastic. So it's all good.
It's also really, pretty quick to make a new character. It's like it's not as involved as a lot of the newer stuff.
Well, I agree.
yeah.
And also I would say it's not like the whole party is level 10 and you're restarting at level 1. I mean, you're level 1, you're restarting at level 1.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, right.
Like when my character died, I had my new one made before we finished that last stream.
Yeah.
Like, it took maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna be.
Well, nothing will ever beat the backstory that was Astrid. But,
I know, that one was so great too.
What was her backstory? I forgot.
It was so good.
Let's remember
was
Astrid.
like-
What was it?
It was like, her, I don't know, her mother died. I think she was like from a merchant family, but her mother died. And her mother was the one who she got like her garments from and her robes and everything like that, who practiced the same, religion that she is now. And she, used to maybe have a little bit of a rough past. but she's trying to turn things around, and she has
And she never
an
saw it
omen.
happen.
She has an omen about heading east. Like it was her destiny to head east in the name of her mother. It
was amazing, and it was inspirational, and that's actually why I was giving you those dying words, because here's what I was hoping was going to happen with Astrid. As the blade sort of plunged deeply into Astrid and the light sort of began to fade, then the light rose up, and in the light, as she looked up, she saw the open arms of her mother and went to her mother's embrace, and they finally were back together and reunited. That was the last moment. Yes, right.
Astrid believes in elves. We get it.
That is exactly, that is what happened with poor Astrid. Astrid finally was reunited with, yes, exactly. So in this world or the next. So,
but you know what? Her replacement is going to be all the better.
Straight 18s.
Yep, I agree. I want, well, okay.
On God mode.
Yeah, Dave, let's be honest. Emerald was great, but Emerald wasn't that good, right? I mean, you ended up with a lot better character the second time around. So
my fighter is better at being a fighter. He sucks at everything other than strength and con.
Right.
I have 16 in both of those, and then my highest stat after that is a 9.
Right.
But that's the order that I rolled, and it just worked out perfectly. And the gold allowed me to get decent armor and. So, I mean, I wasn't really expecting my elf to last. He definitely wasn't going to get second level. Like, I had no disillusions of that.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, right, you guys also, here's the other thing, and this is why I would say, like, neither Emerald or Astrid should feel bad. You guys are a light party, right? Like you realistically should be 6, and you should have at least 1 magic user and 1 cleric, right? Like, I mean, that's what you should be going into the caves with. And you guys are like 4, and you have a cleric with no spells and no magic user, right? I mean, like,
party sizes were so much bigger back in the day.
Yeah. Right. Like this, seriously, B2 is recommended for 6 to 9 player characters, right? Like you guys are 4. So yeah, right. So.
Well, I'm as good as 2.
Yes, that is true.
Me too. Shooting from range is a huge advantage.
All right, well,
I don't think we're getting our wizard or a cleric. So,
would you roll?
I got a 9, another 9, a 14.
Ooh,
you might be a thief.
I got a 16.
Is that the order that? Okay, yeah.
And then I have a 10 and I have a 14.
Ooh. So I have the same wisdom and dexterity as you.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
So stream, seriously, if you're gonna hate anyone, hate Juce, right? Because
I did it. I killed him.
Yeah, because Juce was supposed to have another person in this party, but like I don't know. So like if you want to hate
Victor's
anyone,
fault.
if you want to hate anyone, hate Juce. So
it's Victor's fault for not replying to the email.
What the heck, Victor?
All right.
My style.
So we'll end the stream there. We'll be back for some BECMI Keep on the Borderlands in 2 weeks. But until then, we have a lot of good gaming. We've got Pulp Cthulhu starting this Thursday. Peter is running it. Bill is playing in it. I'm playing.
Yeah, I am.
And we've got some other awesome players.
If you guys haven't seen The Endless or Resolution, first of all, go watch it, right? Like go watch The Endless and then watch Resolution. If you have seen it, you already know who my character is going to be, right? It's Gunnut Tweaker from The Endless, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah. I can't wait for this game. I really can't.
That name alone says it all.
Yeah.
Friday we have Pathfinder 2nd Edition, so we'll be playing that, and then Saturday we're playing Descent into Avernus. And we have a new player joining us. One dropped. So we added a new player. Jake had to drop. He had other commitments and things like that. And he already had missed a few sessions and he just thought that it was time. So so he has dropped, and we have brought in Bill Allen. So he will be joining us. So we have that this week. Next week, pretty much the same lineup, except not really. Actually, no. Next week we have Pulp Cthulhu, and then we have Tyranny of Dragons, which is going to be great fun. So looking forward to it. So if you like live plays, we've got them covering all sorts of systems: 5e, Pathfinder, Pulp Cthulhu, BECMI. It's all good. So with that, anybody want to plug anything else or say anything before we go?
I'm sorry, Astrid.
We had a wonderful, or I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate Thanksgiving in November, if you celebrate Thanksgiving in some other month, I hope that was great too, though. So game on, guys.